So you went through a rough divorce. What is that like? Like, cause like how, you know, I don't want to scare anybody who's married and like doesn't want to go through a divorce, but do you have any advice for people who are going through a divorce or who are in a rough situation where they think it's headed that way? Do you have any like tips for how to cope with that or anything like that?
I definitely think that like a lot of people stay out of guilt, and that's like where I was at. But I think that you can like figure out a lot more about yourself, and like you can do way better if you like are in a healthy situation that like you're not dealing with that kind of stuff. I gave myself a lot of like grief for like not just like getting out of there sooner.
Gotcha.
But I think that people pressure themselves into getting married like early. And then not knowing all the stuff that goes into it later.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 27.
Okay. All right. I don't like, I guess that's not ridiculously young, but then again, at the same time, it's probably not even a matter of your actual physical age. It's a matter of like your life experience and how well you know the person. Did you feel like a society pressure? Like all your friends were getting married, so you just kind of wanted to tie the knot sort of thing?
Yeah. It definitely comes up. And like at the time, I didn't think of it that way. But then I was like, oh yeah, it was quick. And like it just kind of happened. I was like, oh, you want to marry me? Like no one else does. Like we'll try this out.
I've noticed this like because I've been to so many weddings this year to the point where I was like, if anybody else invites me to a fucking wedding, like you better start paying me like instead of me paying you. You know what I mean? I went to so many weddings and I started to notice a trend like that when a lot of your friends, and they weren't even my friends, they were my boyfriend's friends, but I noticed all my boyfriend's friends were getting married at the same time. And I'm like, there's kind of a weird trend where when one gets married, it's almost like the human nature must be competitive or something, because it's like, oh, then that one decided to do it and that one decided to do it. And then I guess that's a good point, is that I'm sure there's plenty of loving relationships like between these people who got married, but I'm sure there's got to be at least one or two cases that kind of like did it just because their friends were doing it and didn't think about it.
Yeah, no.
Were you, on your actual wedding day, were you big, like, Bridezilla, like, really big into the show of it, or not so much your thing?
No, I actually, it's funny, I got married out of state, and it was a small wedding, and I actually, like, hid for, like, an hour before everything started. Like, that actually happened, where I felt like all of this stuff was happening that, like, kind of was leading up to the fact that I was like, I shouldn't be doing this. But then I'm, like, the guilt of, like, everyone traveling to get there. Yeah. I kind of was like, I guess we should. Like, I don't know. Like, it was just like, it was like the wrong circumstances, I feel like, to start. But
yeah, I think if I get married, I feel like I would be a shit show on my wedding day. Like, because not even necessarily like I said, the Bridezilla type that's like, I need the flowers to all match the, you know, that type of thing. But I think I'm a very anxious person, and I don't think I'd be able to sleep the night before, and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm supposed to look my hottest I've ever looked today, and like I can't sleep, and I'm, you know, not eating. I think I'd be super stressed out at a wedding.
It's definitely how I felt. That was definitely all of those things.